Welcome to part 7 of the React tutorial for beginners series. So the first thing which we are going to do, we are going to learn how to use method as a prop. So why do we need method as a prop? See, React is a one-way props flowing, means the props flows from parent to child components. So if you want something to pass, props means data. If you want data to pass from children to parent, we have to use method as a props, or they are also known as callback functions. So this is the way. And in React, what happens, this thing is a big issue, and there is a whole redux library in which we maintain a global state to solve this. But this is a overkill for very small projects, so we can do in this way in smaller projects. Yeah, and there is a context also which we will learn later on, but this is what we need to do when we want to pass data from a child component to a parent component. Okay, so let me start. So this is my old project which is running from part 6. So to run a React project, as usually you have to do npm start. So I have commented it out. Let me comment this out also, and after that I will make a parent component. In the component folder I'm going and I am making a parent component.js. Let me increase the size so that we can see it properly. Okay, and now it will be a class based component. So let me use the snippet again, R C E, and I will give, I will have a class based component. I'll remove this named import, and what will happen, I will have a state also. For that I need the constructor. Again, I am using the shortcut from my plugin. So this dot state, and here I will have something known as a state variable parent name. State variable will be parent name, and let it be Robin Hood Senior. Okay, and here after this I will have a function known as greet parent arrow function, so that we don't have to bind this, and it will give an alert. Hello, this dot state dot parent name. So this alert will be there, but the main thing is that we are not going to call this alert from some button in the parent component. Let me come back to it soon. So child component, we have a child component. Okay, so we have not created yet. Let us go ahead and create that child component, or else it will throw error. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me import it also. I know we don't have it yet, but we will have it here only. So let me come back here, and child component.js I'm doing, and it will be a functional component because we don't have any state here. RAFCE, yeah, and what it will have, it will have a button which will say greet parent. Let me save it now, and now I can safely save it here. but it is not showing. Why it is not showing? Because we have not yet added it in the app.js. So let's add the parent to the app.js. So I am here, app.js, and I have to import it also. Import parent component from components, parent component, and if I save it, I should get the button. So this button is coming from this child component and not that parent component. Parent component, we are passing the child component. So as I have told earlier, the main thing what we need to do here, see, this function is there in the parent component. So somehow we want to run the function from the child component. So how we do that? So for that we are going to again take the help of props, but we are going to pass the method as props. Method itself as props will pass. So this child component is there in the parent. Here let's pass a prop called greet handler. You can give any name, this is not important, but this is important. What we are passing to these props, this props is this dot greet parent. This function itself, function or method was the same thing. This method itself, we are passing it as the argument or the props. So now we are back in the child component. So we are passing some, we are getting some props, so we will use this props here. And then the main thing, on click handler, as I have told that on click it should show that on click handler, we just have to call the props dot greet. Props is known as greet handler. As I have told earlier, we can use anything instead of that greet handler. So let me save it, and now moment of truth, if I click it, that alert should come if everything is okay. So let me click it and alert is there. So again, so this greet handler we are calling, which is actually this props contain the method itself. So this is how data is flowing from child to a parent. So this is very important thing in React and used in production level code a lot. This is also known as callback function. So the callback function is there. Okay, so this is how it is done. But what if I want to pass some data into this greet parent? Some data, not exactly like this, means some data should be there. So I want to show that data. So let me go here, and when we want to pass some data, what we do, we use the arrow function format. So this we have learned earlier. So greet handler, and will come here because we are passing some parameter. So the sing junior, passing this parameter, let it be the child name. So I'm passing this, simply have that. So I can give any name here, child name, and we can directly use this. Means now we can directly use it within our string from dollar child name. Okay, so let me save it. See, Raman Singh Junior, this is a state, and so this Singh Junior, this we are passing from here. So it is working perfectly. Now what we are going to do, we are going to learn conditional rendering. So what is conditional rendering? So a lot of time what happens, let me first comment this out, comment this out. Okay, so what is conditional rendering? Conditional rendering, there are a lot of time in code what will happen, we want to show some part of the code, not the complete part of the code. So in those scenario, conditional rendering will be used. So it's better to explain. Actually there are 4 ways to do conditional rendering. So let me first make some components for that. So the component will be user greeting.js, then RCE. It will be a class based component actually, RCE. Let me also quickly add it here so that I don't have to add it again. I can close this and import user greetings from components user greeting. You save it. I will do here rconst false will be there. So a variable is there, state variable which is logged in. So in a lot of scenario what happens, this is logged in will come from some props or something in a production level application that the user is logged in or not, and depending on that I want to show 2 things. See, there is h1 welcome Nabindu, the other one will be welcome guest. So if the user is logged in, I will show this welcome Nabindu, and if the user is not logged in, I will show welcome guest. So this is a common scenario, but we are a bit hard coding that is logged in is coming from here only. In real cases it will come from the prop, and even the name will come from the database. So but we want to conditional rendering it. So suppose in this case what is happening is logged in is false, so I want to show welcome guest. So you are getting it. So I've included it and save it. Right now both of them will be shown. So how to do the conditional rendering? So first there are four methods for it, only 4 methods. So let us do it. So the first method for the conditional rendering is in the render itself we will move, and if this dot state dot is logged in, if a statement, we have to use this if statement, and the main thing about if statement is that we have to use it outside. I will show you what I'm talking. Return, and it is not a good option to use the if statement h1 this, or I can copy this thing. h1 else this. Return this. Let me remove this itself. So this is one way to do it. I'm just having if statement, and if statement is true then return this. So there are 2 return statements. So this is not advisable, but this is also a way in which we can do. I can have a if statement. Say I have only one statement in the if, so I'm not using the curly bracket. So this is one of the way. So let me save it to true, and welcome Navendu will be shown. Okay, so this is one way through if statements. The second, now we will look into the second way. The second way is to use the HTML element, one HTML variable we will use. So let me do that. Let message, a variable is there, because it is not advisable to have multiple return. So what I will have here, instead of return, I will have message equal to this. Message equal to this, and then return message, not this message. This is a variable, so we have to return it within the curly bracket message. And let me save it, and it is working perfectly. Let me change again. Yeah, so this is one of the way. I've seen this also a lot in the production level code, so this type of way. So the next way is the most preferred way in the production level code. This you will see everywhere, this method 3 and method 4, but method 4 is a special case. But let's first see the method 3, which is the preferred way for this kind of a thing. So you can comment all this out. Return, here we are using ternary operator. Ternary operator is nothing but an if-else statement with the question mark, so it is nothing but that. So this dot state dot is logged in, we are checking whether it is logged in by question mark, and if it is logged in, then we will return this, or else we will return the guest. Or if it falls, then whatever is there after this, it will be shown. So welcome guest is shown because we are right now passing it as false. Let me make it true, and welcome Navendu will be shown. So now we will see the last method, which is known as a short circuit method, which is used with the and operator. But this is sort of a special case. Means what happens in this method, that we render something or we render nothing. So what does that mean? Means we can only, in this case we cannot mainly use it because we want to show welcome guest also. But suppose a case is there in which if the user is logged in, I want to show welcome, then if it is not logged in, I don't want to show anything. And there are cases like this in production level code a lot. So let me do that. Return this dot state dot is logged in. I'll do and I'll just do this. Okay, let me save it, and welcome Navendu will be shown. And so what happens here, it comes here, evaluate. If it is true, then only it goes to the second one, and if it comes here and evaluate it to be false, it will not even go here. See, nothing will be shown. So this is what is about conditional rendering. So this completes part 7 of the series. See you soon in part